We are live here at McDonald's Jones Stadium to witness the Manly Seagulls take on the Newcastle Knights in what should be a highly anticipated clash. The Newcastle Knights started the year as one of the Wooden favourites, but they've since gone 2-2 to start the year and are looking definitely a lot better form than a lot of people predicted for them. Meanwhile, the Manly Seagulls, coming off a win after losing rivalry round in round 3, have now come back into the winner's circle after winning by only 6 points against the Parramatta Eels last week. Joining me in the commentary box tonight is the one and only Blair Curtin. Blair, what are you looking forward to about this clash?
G'day Lachlan, absolute pleasure to be back in the box for the first time this season. What I'm looking forward to see most here is the Knights' resilience. They struggled with that a bit last season and they haven't really been put to the test yet. But with Pongston out and the rookie Miko Rashford a fullback, it's really going to be put to the challenge tonight because Pongston has been an absolute weapon for them.
Yeah, I can't agree more. Pongston probably been up there with the best fullbacks in the competition, I think, alongside the likes of Amatangi and Dingo, who is in fact taking on at fullback today. We're interested to see how it goes, as Miko is going to take a first run up there. That's going to get some good... You know, to get his hands on the ball early. I like to see it from Miko Rashford. Last week, obviously against the Rabbitohs last week, it was only a 2-point loss for the Newcastle side, and they showed a lot of resilience to come back, put themselves back into the game after Pongston went down injured. How do you... You know... what are you looking forward to seeing about Miko today? Because he's usually a winger or centre, playing in the fullback role. Do you think he might be under a little bit of pressure to perform today?
Oh, absolutely. No question. He's been promoted up into a spine position. It's his first season in the SRL. He's really going to be put to it. But at the same time, he's got big raps on him. He's got those big raps for a reason. Let's see how he goes. He's definitely got the potential.
As O'Donnell now has some space. This is looking good for Manly. They can't do it. Miko Rashford's going to come across field to make the tackle. New fullback setting his mark early with a great chase down of O'Donnell, but not a great start by the Knights kick chase. It's going to go down your punch. He's settling it up centre field, taking it there, just driving past the 20. Good post-contact meters there. Keisuke over to Kyle Lewis. Keisuke in the halfback jersey of Kyle Lewis moving over to the 5'8 role. Goes Williams. Over there to Dingo. Gives it back to KCK. Charges into the line and is taken down there. Fourth tackle now. Williams. Short ball there to punch. This is good defence by the Knights. They'll play it there. Fifth tackle. Goes to KCK. Grubbers it in. Hits the post and Bo Sadler comes away with it. Oh, that could have been dangerous. You never like to see the ball hit the post, but that time it just bounced up for Bo Sadler and the Knights survive. Despite the poor kick chase, I've got to say that was pretty decent defence by them in the end.
Yeah, it was. You know, when a winger gets a break, really anything can happen. And Dr. Lift makes a huge break himself. Has to be pulled down by Dingo there. I actually think that KCK in the 7 jersey is a bit of an inspired move from Matt Harris here. As we know, the game does treat the 7 jersey as the running half and the 6 jersey as the playmaking half, as Rashford makes good meters there too. And as such, I reckon a really fast, incisive player like KCK can do some real damage in that halfback jersey.
I do find it a little bit odd with the fact that, you know, Kyle Lewis has been their predominant halfback for pretty much his entire career, apart from, I think he had a little bit of a stint in Hooker Dream Season 3, but other than that, he's been mainly the halfback for the Manly team, so I do find it quite surprising they've gone to move him to the 6 jersey. The only reason I could sort of think that is maybe they want him to be that dominant kicker. They want him to have a little bit more control over the game. You know, the 6, they usually have one kicking the ball, dictating terms around the ruck in terms of, you know, wherever, you know, both teams end up starting their sets and ending it. That's the only reason I could see they would probably give the Kyle Lewis the 6 jersey and move KCK to the 7. Either way, very interesting move there as Manly make decent meters there. Kyle Lewis with his first kick of the day down to Hone King, I should say, sorry. Taking there by, I think that's Ethan Goodwin and Tyler Weston there, as he'll play it there. Crutcher, short there to Christie. He takes a hit up there. Had a decent start to the season, Christie. Decent start to this game too. As they send it over Doklich once more. He's been dangerous to start this game. Great tackle there by Kyle Lewis though. That's going to be the third. Crutcher will be now. Takes on the line, runs to the Matty Harris. That's definitely different sizes matching. Crutcher on the smaller players. Matty Harris, the alpha dog, is Doklich kicks. That's a very good kick, in fact. A very good kick. Might even be 40-20. The guy has to get on his bike and he gets there. brilliant taste down, and even Doklic after kicking it makes the tackle on Dingo. That was a very good start there. Very good set, I should say, by the Knights. A very good kick by Doklic.
Yeah, a bit of positive play, bit of an early kick. I'm not quite sure if that would have been a 40-20. I think the ball might have been over the 40-metre line when it hit Doklic's boot, but definitely put Manly on their bike. We're at the forwards early, and we see a knock-on from Matty Harris. Well, maybe that little bit of extra running back has forced that bit of an error.
Yeah, Matty Harris didn't let him look like he was comfortable taking that pass. As they send it over Doklic. She's had a great start to this game, Doklic. Really dangerous in that centre role. We know he's been really good so far this season. Obviously scoring a double against the Eels to steal the game a few weeks ago. And it's Christie. That's a big run. In fact, breaks through a couple of tackles. You like to see it from Alex Christie. One of the underrated prop forwards in the comp, in my opinion, is they're going to go back to Mark Lee, the captain. Pushing forward. He should get put onto his back. He will. That's the 4th tackle. The Knights, can they put some pressure in? As Christie! An ideal start for the front rower, and he'll score the Knights' first try. What a start from Alex Christie.
Yeah, a bit of a poor defensive read in the centre from Manly there. Not really like them at all. It's really just a good pass from dummy half there by Sadlerian, and Christie just strolls over. I don't even think anyone put a hand on him, and bit of a flop there late from Jordan Williams. Lucky not to be an 8-point try.
Yeah, Alex Christie, I've got to say, he's had an absolute brilliant start to this game, and I think he's probably been the Knights' best player to start this game. He's been breaking tackles. He had a really good run to set up a position, plays the ball. Mike Lee takes a settler, and then he takes another run and finds space to score a try. He knows how to score them. Scored a double in just his second ever SRL game, so he knows how to find the white line, and got to say, that was a great try by Manly against by Newcastle, and considering Manly had a lot of ball early on, definitely a different start to them. We quite often see the upset in the wet weather. Could this today be another example of that?
Quite possibly. I'd broadly agree with you there, though I'd really say that Doklic has a pretty solid claim to Newcastle's best so far as well. He's been getting involved in the game much more than centres usually do early on, and he's consistently made big meters, and he made that early kick that led to the Manly error that put them in that position to get the ball down in the first place.
Yeah, very good start by Newcastle. Definitely, I'd say, everyone's second team. Considering the story going into the season, you know, Lee was sort of had a lot to go through in the offseason, considering his situation that he was put in. You know, a lot of retirements, a lot of rookies coming through, but so far to play, Brandis Lee now makes a break. Had some outside runners. I think Vaughan was there in support, but he couldn't find the pass. But they'll happily take a settler there for potentially a good kick. Now, the kick chase has been a bit lackluster so far today. Newcastle, that's one area they can improve in, but oh! Talk about a shot on Matthew Vaughan. Look for the kick. I think that's the big dog, Matty Harris, that lined him up there. And, well, the Newcastle Knights hands it over as Ethan Goodwin now steps through the line. Good start. Good run there. Plays it on the 5th. Very short side now. Lewis sends it over to Weston. Finds some space now. Weston gets around Mika Rashford, but Ash Crutcher's there to make the tackle. Can't take him over the sideline. He played that on the 20. Williams. Short ball there. Oh, Alex Christie read that well there on Matty Harris. 3rd tackle. This is looking good from the Manly Seagulls. A lot better than we've seen earlier. Kyle Lewis can't find any support runners. Will play it there. Just 5 metres out now. They go short side. It goes there. And it's going to be, Carrigan, he can't find his way over the line. Crutcham doing enough, and Christie's there to help him out. They go upstairs, though I don't think this is going to be changed from no try.
Not quite sure what they're going upstairs for. But one thing that I will say is that Newcastle is playing a lot more positively than Manly. We're seeing a lot more one out from Manly at the moment. And the extra creativity of Newcastle as that ball just goes down, and we're going to see Jimmy Ralph get wrapped up here for a handover. But much, much more positive play from Newcastle, and that's why they're up 6-0 at this stage, as Honair King makes a break.
Yeah, Newcastle, I've got to say, they're playing very good, and Manly, it just wasn't as... Redo joggers, in fact, they're going to call that a knock-on. There's something Manly can use. Maybe they can finally find something here as they go short side. Not really catching the break anymore, sort of just back and forth footy. Weston now with a good run. That's going to take him up 5 metres out. Like to see what Manly can do here. They need to find something, I think, with the amount of ball they've had. Definitely more ball than Newcastle, despite Newcastle currently leading. Kyle Lewis will play it there 8 metres out. They go short ball there once again to Matty Harris. Scored a double last week in the opening 11 minutes. had a bit more of a quieter start to this game. As Christie with another huge tackle there in the forward. As Brad Goodwin pushing forward, but again, he gets turned onto his back. Sadler and Mika Rashford this time. They're going upstairs once again, not sure what for though.
This has been basically tackling drill for the Newcastle defence so far. It's just been one out from Jimmy Ralph. They wrapped up Lewis. They wrapped up Harris. Now they've wrapped up Goodwin. They need to do something more here.
As Williams takes a settler. Maybe it'll be the kick. We know that KCK and Cole Lewis both have really good short kicking games. It goes there. And Matty Harris. Oh, that's a bit lucky from Manly. Matty Harris finds some space. He scores his 5th try of the season. 3rd in 2 weeks. And they do find something Manly. It took 5 tackles. Pretty much about 15 tackles attacking the Newcastle line though.
Absolutely. Great play. Ooh, bit of a juggle there and a little bit lucky. Maybe that's what's caused the Newcastle defence to back off a bit. But that's an important reason why you play the whistle. The battering ram hammered the gate, hammered the gate, hammered the gate, and finally the gate broke.
Now, the ref has said that Matty Harris picked up before he hit the ground, but you saw Mike Lee in the background there. Gave him pretty much a mouthful. You have to be careful there, Mark. Don't want to be sending out there, but he's not impressed. In fact, I'm led to believe that he believes that the ball did in fact hit the ground before Matty Harris regathered it, but you know, you've played at a whistle, and I feel like that's a little bit of an experience there from Newcastle. They just weren't expecting that. Matty Harris definitely was not meant to get the ball there. They read it perfectly going out to Cole Lewis, but he ends up with it and nearly drops it, hangs on to it, and Newcastle pretty much stopped. They thought it would have been a knock on their ball back, and they thought they survived, but played at a whistle, and Manly get their first try. A little bit of luck going Manly's way, though.
Absolutely. And I think Manly got a little bit of luck with the Viretto knock-on as well. I think that actually might have been a bit of a falcon there, but ref didn't see it that way.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it is I actually thought Viretto sort of... He hit the ball backwards almost. Like, it's a very weird sort of try. I thought he just juggled it and knocked it backwards himself, but the ref called it a knock-on. And it's just sometimes these, you know, tougher teams, you know, Newcastle, teams that aren't as good as they give away a penalty. That's not what they needed. They get fixed up their discipline, Newcastle. They're right on this game, but their discipline is kind of letting them down a little bit at the moment.
I'd agree with that, and in the set after points, letting them straight through to your 30 like that is not a good play at all.
They've defended quite well. We'll have to see if they can continue. But a short ball there to Kerrigan. Good run there. Mark Lee and Alex Christie. Again, he's been very good in defence so far, Alex Christie. Take him down. Williams sends it over to Dingo. Dingo with some space. Gets around one. Takes on Rashford. Had KCK in support. Couldn't find him though. Rashford makes a tackle. Play it there. Goes to KCK. Looking to push forward. Oh, he held up. I thought he might have got over there. Again, Christie with another brilliant tackle. Short ball there. Kyle Lewis. Nothing there. Viretto around him. Again with Christie. They go short side here. KCK it is. And they're on his back again. Manly just won out stuff. And there'll be a 5th tackle here. The ref says held up. Go back to the 10 middle line, boys. Last tackle. One tackle to make something off it for Newcastle. It goes Kyle Lewis. He grabs it and picked up there by Mark Lee. And that's brilliant defence there from Newcastle.
Bit of a toothless set there from Manly. You just see this one outplay again. And the Newcastle defence read it really well. Seems that they've been burnt by that first try from Matt Harris. And as Mark Lee makes a massive, massive break, it's a foot race. But Dingo does get his man in the end. And Newcastle, they learnt their mistake the first time around and found the Manly attack no trouble whatsoever.
You know, it was great stuff there as Mark Lee takes another hit up. We've just seen Alex Christie go from field, which I want to give him some raps. Not only in attack as he viewed, but in defence. He made about, I want to say he's already made close to 20 tackles, it felt. That was a great piece of effort there from Christie, especially close to the line as Ben O'Donnell. He's been dangerous on that wing there when given space. I wonder if Manly should go towards more his way in attack as Kerrigan now pushes forward. More than it is in the tackle. We'll play it there. Goes KCK. Long pass over to Dingo. Oh, brilliant tackle there, though. I think that's Lachlan Cherney with the tackle. He'll play it there. 3rd tackle. Ralph gives it to Williams. Gives it there to Kyle Lewis. Couldn't find some outside runners. He had Goodwin and Kerrigan there, but they couldn't find him. It goes Dingo now. Dingo straight through the line. Looking for some space. It's end up the 2 prop forwards off the bench there to make the tackle. Ash Turner and Lachlan Cherney. It goes back. KCK puts it high. That's a brilliant kick there. That's probably their best kick of the afternoon. Oh, top back there. What am I going to say? Kerrigan knocked it on there. Not sure I saw that, but in fact, they've given it a line dropout. I'm not sure what's going on here. This is... Okay, I'm confused. Blade, do you have any comments on what's just happened there?
I think the call is Miko Rashford knocked it on in goal. I'm not quite certain that I saw it quite the way the referee did, but in the words of the late great Richie Beno, I'll leave it to the viewer at home to decide.
You know, at that point, you'd have to say that it probably is, you know, you have to have called a double knock on then, right? Because otherwise, you'd have to say Kerrigan would have scored there, but Manly wants to get on the attack. So far, though, Newcastle defence holding on there. Mark Leaders pushing back Rex Buckingham. Williams, short ball there. Kerrigan pushing forward there. Veretto and Lachlan Cherney there to help him out. Fifth tackle now. They need a good kick here. It's a good kick. It's a great kick, and Dingo's going to score off it. Just a little bit tap through, and Dingo. They score directly under the post. And Newcastle's discipline, I have to say, is costing them at the moment because their defence has been good. But similar to what we saw with the Raiders last week, they can only defend for so long.
Well, this is why Kyle Lewis is great in the 6 jersey. You know, calls for the ball, puts in this deft little kick, Dingo scoops it up, and, I mean, Manly's been doing this for, 3-4 seasons now? They are so good at it.
And I think this is what separates the good sides from the great. You know, a lot of sides of how much, a lot of sides of how Manly have been playing would be completely out of the game already. You know, it'd be 18-0 or something. But Manly, with how they're playing, they're just able to just keep putting pressure. Even if it's just one of that stuff, keep putting pressure on the Knights and know that eventually, they just keep trying, they'll eventually crack them. And that's exactly what's happened here. They just kept on going. I want to say they've had about 30 tackles on the line, but they just kept on going, and they just keep on knowing eventually if they keep putting pressure on the Newcastle Knights, they'll score, and that's exactly what they've done here. And even if it's, they're not the most prettiest of try, it's a very near knock-on from Matt Harris that has scored one, and then the smallest scrum kick you've ever seen from Kyle Lewis, but they know that it works, and it got them the first 2 tries of their game.
They do know it works, and they do it very well. But what the Knights need to do here is stop giving away silly repeat sets. Maybe they were a little bit unlucky to have that call in the in goal go against them, but at the same time, if you want to play at this level, you need to bounce back. This is a test of Newcastle's resilience. How they go from here will depend on how the game ends up.
Yeah, I have to agree. So it goes long ball over to Kerrigan now, setting up for 5th tackle. They haven't given away a penalty this time, which is better than what happened last time as it goes back now. It's going to be Kyle Lewis to punt it over. Down to Hone King. Hone King gets around 1. This is good from him. Nearly turns Dingo inside out, but Kerrigan's there to make a brilliant tackle. That's the first now. Goes Rashford. We know how dangerous he can be. Straight up the middle now. Rashford. Oh, that's a good run. Taken down there by the one and only Chaz Dingo. Not getting past him, Miko, unfortunately, as it goes short there. Cherney. Pushes forward. Williams and Ray have to place to take him down. Goes long ball over to Tua. That's a good run there by the second rower, playing it there. 4th tackle. Goes back inside there to Miko again. He's looking dangerous with the ball, Miko. Very hard runner. That's given 5th tackle now. Looking for Vaughan. They find him. Probably not the deepest kick they would have liked. Taken well by Goodwin, in fact. He'll be tackled there, though, and he'll play it there just short of the 20.
Good set there from Newcastle. Good hard work. Miko Rashford took some excellent runs as Kerrigan makes a break. Makes an offload to great Alex Chapman.
Sorry to cut you off there, Curtin. Great Alex Chapman finds some space. A fall for a second. He might have been away, although quite doesn't have the speed. Goes down to Weston. Doklich misses him. He's taken down by what looks to be Rashford and Veretto. He'll play it there just 15 minutes out from the line. This is going to test their resilience now. Short ball there. I thought it might have been a knock-on. They're going to say it went backwards. Another call against the Knights. 2nd tackle. Goes long pass over to Kerrigan. Kerrigan pushing forward. He wants to find the line and he finds it. Veretto couldn't keep him up. And the Manly Seagulls score their 3rd try of the game, and Newcastle once again concede a pretty soft try in the end.
Yeah, that wasn't great. Newcastle, they really just need to get their heads back in it at this point. That was just a straight barge over. This is where Mark Lee needs to talk to his boys, make sure that they're mentally in the right spot and get them out and firing. They need to force an error for Manly, I'd say, early on in this next set.
Yeah, look, you actually see in the background, Mark Lee is still not impressed with what's going on with this team. He still feels like probably a little bit hard done by. He's spoken to the referee, still once again believes that, a few things going the way, in particular that he felt that probably that pass probably looked a little bit forward. I thought it looked potentially flat, but, the Newcastle Knights, they're probably not happy with themselves, but this is where we talk about resilience. I'm interested to see, if they managed to stay with the Rabbitohs last week after being down by a similar deficit at half time. I think it was 18-6 at half time too, so, if they can get a few things go their way in Newcastle, they're definitely not out of it. They've played good enough today where they definitely don't deserve to be down, and definitely not by 12 points at the moment, so if they can get a little bit of something to go their way, I feel like they can definitely score tries, Newcastle, given the opportunity.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, but I'd also add they need to make something go their way.
Yeah,
the game helps those who help themselves.
I definitely have to agree. You make your own luck in this game, and at the moment, Newcastle don't look like they're even trying to make their own luck. It's Rex Buckingham straight up the middle. That's a good run. Takes on Rashford, although he's eventually pulled down by Mika Rashford. Fourth tackle now. Goes KCK. Short ball there. Creed Alex Chapman. He'll push forward. Mark Lee and Bo Sadler, the players to combine to take him down. Goes back. It's going to be KCK. We'll put in a good kick. In fact, no, he dummies and goes himself. Maybe thought he saw some space on the inside, but in the end, the Knights defense didn't fall for his dummy, and they survive.
Well, that's how you can tell KCK's a fullback first rather than a half. I think an out-and-out half would have known that that was the play for a kick, whereas KCK did have that fullback run-first mindset. And, it's resulted in a little bit of a soft end to the set there, and Newcastle have a chance to really work it back out well.
I mean, to be fair, with the, rate of kick returns, there could have been definitely a lot worse. And to set for Manly could have been a poor kick chase, which could have ended up being just, in a try or something from at the other end. So, could have been worse for Manly, but Mark Lee will settle it up middle field. We'll play it there on the 30. Crutcher, he punts it over the top, over to Weston. Weston gets past one. Docklich a good one at the moment. Although Docklich was good in attack to start the game, his defense has been a bit lackluster, I'd have to say. It's Kerrigan again. He's having an amazing season, Marlon Kerrigan, in that second row spot. And he's going to continue it. As they go over now to Bingo. Good read there by Ash Turner pulling him down. Goes KCK. Leigh Simon over the top there to, I think it's Ben O'Donnell on that wing once more. Although this time he's being pulled down by Dylan Murray. They go long ball over there to Jimmy Raff. Gives it down to Drex Buckingham. Oh, that's a big tackle there. Sadler. And I think that's Turner in there with him, making some good contact, pulling him back some meters, and he'll play it there just short of the 40. Goes over to KCK. Good kick down. It's going to be fielded there by Thomas Usher on his debut. I feel like that might be his first touch of the game after 36 minutes. But he's, of course, on his debut, and I feel like that's his first touch. It's a little bit of a juggle there, but Sadler now with some space. Goes back on the inside, but intercepted there for Leigh Simon. And another error is going to cost them. Hope they have to defend here, otherwise it could go be an ugly deficit at half-time. Punch. Settles it up. Just short of the 20. Williams gives it short then to Marlon Kerrigan. That's the third tackle. Goes Kyle Lewis. Over the back to Dingo. He'll be taken down there. Savitatu and Matthew Vaughan combined to make the tackle. KCK, long pass over to Kyle Lewis. He's taken down by Veredo and what looks to be Lachlan Cherney. Fifth tackle now. Williams rubbers it in. Dingo's got a double. And the Manly Seagulls are just carving the Newcastle up now. These errors and this discipline is costing the Newcastle Knights. And Manly extend their lead.
Yeah, that was not an intercept Newcastle wanted to throw. And Manly have just done it so well. Williams, the lock forward with the grubber kick, you can tell he'll be keeping his kicking license for another week. And Dingo's just so good at those kick collect tries.
Yeah, I just got to point out the fact that they let him run so much there. Newcastle Knights. They're backing off him a little bit, Williams, because he kicked it pretty much a metre off the line. Like, you can't allow stuff like that, especially against a good team like Manly, who'll make you pay for it. At that time, I mean, if they just got up in his face, made a tackle, he doesn't get that kick away. But they let him run all the way up to about 1 or 2 metres out from the line, then he just dropped it on his foot. And Dingo was in line with him and just dives over for a try. He's second of the day. And Manly just aren't... They started poorly, but they just know how to just find the line.
They do, and just no one ever really expects one of the forwards to start playmaking. They were probably predicting some sort of wraparound play, but Williams just saw it and said, no, I think I'll drop it on the foot.
Even so, though, you don't let a player, especially with Williams, I mean, he could have dummied and ran there and probably still found the line. He kicked it a metre off the line. Like, I don't know, I just feel like the Newcastle Knights, they shouldn't have let him run that much. They should have got up in his face, put pressure on him to make a decision. Instead, they let him pretty much run. Like, I don't know, I personally felt like that was very poor. As Dingo now straight up the middle. We taken down there by Dylan Murray. That's the 4th tackle. They're already on the 40. It's only 4th. KCK now gives it short there to Daniel Pudge. 5th tackle. That'll be the half time. The Newcastle Knights down against the Manly Seagulls at home. 24 points to 6.
From video editing to thumbnail design, Flow Managing covers all of your YouTube and social media needs, relieving the stress of finding creative workers and giving you more time to be creative yourself. Why wait? Join Flow Managing and we will work for you.
Welcome back to the second half, I should say, as Mark Lee gets the ball back on the tee and talk about a one-sided half in terms of the stats. When you looked at the stats, Blair, it's actually impressive. Knights aren't down by about 40 at halftime, 32% of the ball, and Milo Kerrigan 160 metres in that first half. Blair, what were your thoughts in that first half?
Yeah, you can't score without the ball, and Manly's had all the ball, and the Knights have had barely any. Not one Manly player has had to make more than 10 tackles. Jimmy Ralph and Chaz Dingo have come up with 10 apiece. I think next highest after that was 7. Whereas for the Knights, Pete Ferretto, it's only been one half of football. He's already racked up 21 tackles with no misses as Chaz Dingo takes a step and goes through the line. Miko Rashford's had a decent enough start at fullback, but with only less than 1/3 of the ball.
Goodwin, sorry to cut you off there. Goodwin's racing away. Mark Lee's going to get extra. I set restart again. They're going to play it there. Out of dummy half now, Ralph. Sorry to cut you off there, Blair. We'll be back with your thoughts in a moment. Goodwin nearly scoring, but Ralph now takes a run out of dummy half. They're going to go over. It's going to be Kerrigan. He's already got 1 try, 160 metres. He takes a set up event, but they can't find the line. Ralph now plays it there. It's going to go KCK. He can't find any space. That's 3rd tackle now. They'll play it there. Short ball there to Kyle Lewis again. They're up in their face. This time Veretto and what looks to be Mark Lee. That's going to be the 4th tackle. It's going to go over here. It's going to go Daniel Punch, I should say. He'll push forward. That's going to be the 5th tackle. It's going to be another try for kick. Who wants it? Goes to Kyle Lewis. He grubs it in. Williams picks it up. And he's going to be held out there just by the skin of their teeth. The Knights survive. A pretty disappointing attack again there by Manly. But we saw a lot of that in the first half. And they just keep finding ways to score. So I wouldn't count Manly out with that one set there.
Yeah, Manly have just hammered and hammered and hammered away at this Knights defence, and the Knights have consistently splintered under the pressure. So Newcastle needs to do something special here if they want to have a chance in this game, because if they only have 1/3 of the ball again, this could really get ugly.
I have to agree with her as Cotter will set it up there. It's going to go long ball over here. Dave O'Noffel and Gow, we get over there, and again, you know, they barely survived that set there, Newcastle. You know, I thought Williams might have been over for a second. He was very slow to pick up that ball. It was honestly lackluster set from Manly, but, you know, they just keep giving those lackluster sets to keep finding ways to score anyways. Weston now with a hit up there. Take the first run. Decent, very good kick chase there from the Newcastle Knights. They spread it over to Matty Harris. Scored 5 tries this season. He's having a brilliant season in this front row position so far. Back in the middle. I guess he's always been in the middle. Back into the front row spot with Williams coming over. Maybe he's in for another double today as they send it over to Milo Kerrigan once more. It'll be impressive at this rate if he doesn't get to 200 metres and potentially even higher than that is. They send the ball there and they're going to get Set restart? Maybe no, they're not going to say touch the Knight's hand. They'll get one there for Newcastle, because I thought for a second it may have, but Ole will play it there. Goes Kyle Lewis now. That's a good kick. Gets over there to Hone King. Hone King's looking for space. In fact, he finds some. But once again, Dean goes back there to cover. That'll be the first tackle. They'll play it there. Crutcher now. Dummies and runs. Matt Harris is the player to take him down. That's the second tackle. Gives it there to Sherney. Sherney settles up. That's the third tackle. Goes down to Mark Lee. Mark Lee's running back in towards the ruck, but Matt Harris is there once again. He's had a very good game so far, Matty Harris, and he'll continue that. They go over to Crutcher. Crutcher dummies and runs. Fifth tackle now. They're going to send it over. It's going to be Mark Lee to kick with the kicking duty. Sends it over there to O'Donnell. He's been dangerous when he's had opportunities. In fact, he steps one there. Takes on Rashford. But Rashford was one to get it there to tackle. I've got to say on these kick returns, there's been a lot of times that O'Donnell's broken through, but Rashford's always positioned himself perfectly to make the tackle.
Rashford's had a very good debut at fullback. He's one of very few shining lights for the Knights in this game, I'm sorry to say, because the rest of the team has at times been a bit unimpressive. And I just wonder if these Knights are going to have the strength and energy to come back. We know that Christie's day is done. He's gone for an early shower. And I feel that with how he started this game, having him come off early is, oh God, another penalty.
This is just... I mean... I give credit where credit due. The Knights' defense, in considering how much ball Manly have had, has been impressive. But you can't win the game without the ball. People say defense wins premierships, but you can't win the premiership when you're giving up silly possession like this. This is not the first time they've done something like this too, where it's late in the attack count and give away a penalty, and now Manly are looking to score their 5th try of the game. Goes Lewis. Short ball there to Aoife. They're up in his face to make the tackle. Good tackle there by Tuua and what looks to be Boston. They send it short ball there. It's going to be Ole. Back in Manly covers for the first time since last season after leaving. Goes short there. Short ball there to Aoife. Look at his score. His first SRL try, and he will. His first ever SRL try. He scored. And that will extend the Seagulls lead. And I don't see why Newcastle are coming back from here with how just poor this one has been today.
Oh no, this is Manly's game and Newcastle are just playing in it. It's really just a matter of what the margin is for Manly at this point. Cole Lewis will kick this fairly easily, you'd expect. And while Manly haven't been particularly creative in attack, they haven't had to be. They've had so much of the ball and they've got so much more energy from not having to defend that they can just hit the line so much harder and just bully Newcastle out of this game on their own line. This could turn into something quite severe for Newcastle.
Yeah, 30 minutes to go. We talked about resilience before the game, and to be honest, they did show a lot of resilience, but it's just become too much of how much ball Manly have had. I think it's probably... I can't imagine the percentage of ball percentage has increased since halftime. I'd imagine it's probably about 25 to 75 now. It's just gone from bad to worse for Newcastle, and I don't know how. You know, we see these first half games, we think, well, it can't get worse than that. You know, I should improve in the second half. So far, I have not seen a single example where Newcastle have improved in any area, as Aoife takes a hit up there. Who'll play it there?
No, I'd agree with you there. This is just really, really dark, disappointing play from Newcastle. You can't even really say that Ponkston now's been that big of an issue because Rashford's had a great game as... Ooh.
They'll get one there, Newcastle. Williams has kicked down the full. He's tried to go for a 40-20. At the beginning, I thought, they can't kick it. They can't keep doing this to Newcastle. It looked good, but it was way over the top. Our cameras couldn't catch how far it went out, but it did go out by, well, too much. As Newcastle get a little bit of opportunity here. He's finally some good field position. Don't think they've had this since the first half when Christie scored, so we'll see if they can use it now. Short ball there to Veretto. I feel like he deserves a trial. The amount of defensive work he's had to do. Don't think he's missed a tackle yet either. Second tackle now. They send it over there to Tua. They'll play it there. Third tackle. Goes through the hands. Gives it a Crutcher. He takes it on their 4th tackle now. He gets put on his back there. Goes short there and Turney scores. They'll get that one, Newcastle. And they score probably their second opportunity of the game. Maybe they're not done yet. They can get a little bit more to go their way.
Great attacking play from Newcastle there. I genuinely was not certain if they had it in them. It's good to see that they're still going for the positive play when they've got the ball in hand, but they've got a lot of work to do to be considered competitive yet.
There was great vision there from Boston. Sorry to cut off that, Blair. There was great vision there from Boston. Just sort of looked like it was going out the back to probably Mark Lee or, one of the playmakers, but instead of just, he drew him past, short ball, and Turney goes over untouched. It's good to see Newcastle, they can at least, if they get some good field position, they can at least use it. I think the bigger question is, has the damage already been done? 18 points in 26 minutes, it's definitely possible. But Manly are a good side. They're not going to give Newcastle field position that easy. I think their problem is getting up the field, not necessarily if they get in field position, whether they'll score. It's just getting up the field.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think this is just a question of margin at this point. I don't think Newcastle can come back from here. As Turner makes a break, tackle there, about 22 metres out.
Yeah, sorry about the few technical difficulties here, Curtin, but Tua taking the hit up there. They can find something, Newcastle. Maybe this game isn't done just yet. Oh, that's brilliant short ball vet. Lee takes on and gets an offload to the try scorer, Lachlan Turney. He'll play it there, 3rd tackle. Short ball vet is Sabbath to Ua. Pushes forward now, 4th tackle. They go back towards Lee. This is good from Newcastle. They'll be able to put an attack and kick in 2. 5th tackle.
This is a great set after points.
Have to agree. A lot better than their last one when they knocked it on. Vaughan puts it high. That's a brilliant kick, in fact. And great take there by Tyler Weston. But it's not a bad place to turn the ball over there, Newcastle.
Well, Newcastle does seem to be doing something a bit more positive. They're holding on to the ball, and it seems that Manly is going to need to move it around a bit as well if they want to make any meters in attack. So throwing it around is working for Newcastle at the moment. The balls are sticking despite the wet conditions. So let's see how things go. As Ole steps into dummy half, Kerrigan onto Lewis, not the man you want tackled.
As Kyle Lewis plays it there on the 5th tackle now. 40 metre. It wasn't too bad in the second. All things considered, it's going to bounce back on, bounces up for him. If that bounces the other way, it probably could have been a 7 tackle centers. They're going to get a repeat setting, man. That's an absolute perfect kick there from Kyle Lewis. Talk about changing the momentum.
And what a kick chase from Manly. They've done the right thing so often. They got a bit of luck early, but they've just capitalised on it so well.
And, with 30 or so minutes to go, I think if they do find a try here, Manly, I think that's going to be it for the Newcastle Knights. Ether looking for a double. He's looking for one, gets an offload to Williams, and Williams is going to score.
Well, what a play. We criticised the Manly attack for being a bit one-dimensional earlier on. Well, now we see some razzle-dazzle in the wet. They've seen the Newcastle Knights throw it around, and they've said, well, let's have our turn at it too. What an offload.
Yeah, I've got to say, Nicholas
What
Seeper,
an offload.
he's come on and really provided something, I think, in the middle. I think this is probably the best footy I've seen him play ever, Nicholas Seeper. You've gone up the grades. I don't think I've really seen him play this with just much spirit. He's just he charged up the middle really nicely. I know he's only going to play around 20 minutes, but 20 minutes, he's making it count. That was a brilliant offload too. Took on Rashford perfectly. Rashford eventually got to him, but he just found the pass. He just somehow found an offload. And Williams was on the end of it. And Manly, 24 points in 20 minutes. It is technically possible. We're not denying that it can't happen. But, in the wet footy, I don't think it's going to happen. I think they really need to. They couldn't have conceded there for them to have a realistic chance. And I think that realistic chance is now out the window.
I'd agree there.
As Markley kicks off there. It's going to go straight down there to Dingo, who's been good as always today. Gives it there to Matty Harris, and he charges up the middle. That's going to be the first now. They'll play it there. Ralph sends it over there. They're going to go short there to Carrigan. Kerrigan looking for some space. Crutcher's going to wrap him up there. Good tackle there by Crutcher on the big forward. Goes inside there to Williams. Charging up the middle. We played there on the 40. Third tackle. Goes short there to Brad Goodwin. That's been fourth. And they give away a penalty. In fact, you could see in the background, the ref's talking to Mark Lee. No more, otherwise someone will be sitting out. And this just keeps, what do we expect from Newcastle at this point? This discipline has been, it's arguably the worst I've seen from any team ever in the SRL. That's just, I know it's wet footy and all, but it needs to be better.
You need to let the bloke get up and play the ball. If you can't do that, then what are you doing, really?
As Dingo gets through the line, Vaughan cuts him down there. That's a good tackle there by the Newcastle half. They send it over there. It's going to be Oshaole with the ball. Gets it offload, in fact. To what looks to be, I think that's Goodwin there. Played it there, Ralph. Gives it over to Lewis. Short ball there to Daniel Punch looking for a try. He gets held up there. Rashford with a brilliant tackle there. They send it short there to Kyle Lewis. Can't find any space and he'll be playing there. Fifth tackle. Who's going to be kicking option now? Looks like it might be Williams again. In fact, no, it will be Casey Kane. He drops it cold. Again, a little bit one-dimensional to their attack there, Manly, but it's worked all day for them, so why would you change it? And that's a good run there from Doklich.
Yeah, absolutely. Knights are playing, I would say, generally quite a bit better in this second half, but just so much damage was done in that first half that I just don't think they can come back from it. Borson's has been really solid at dummy half, I'd say, and Ferretto just keeps putting in that hard effort, play after play.
As they make another intercept. This time it's Ash Crutcher and intercept there. Daniel Punch, the recipient of it is Kerrigan. He takes another run. He has to be over 200 metres by this stage, surely. As he'll play it there on the 50. Goes over there to Ethan Goodwin it is now. Third tackle. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, sorry, Ethan Goodwin should have come on in the 60-minute interchanges, and Jordan Williams will be coming off momentarily.
As that's a great run there from Dingo. Dingo's looking for a hat-trick. Board with another try saver there on Dingo. That's a great tackle there by the big fellas. It's going to go out of dummy half there. Ralph, he decides to run himself. He's going to find a try just for why not. That's a poor try to concede.
Caught the markers napping, it seems, and when they woke up, Ralph was just able to wrestle them over. That's just not good from the Knights at all.
Yeah, Borson was there. He made the tackle, but he just had no help. He couldn't do it by himself. Ralph, he's a very strong player. Knows how to find the line. Obviously scored 3 tries, I think it was, in that final series last year. I think that's his second try of the year. And Manly, 15 minutes to go. They can make this an absolute bloodbath. I think the most points we've seen scored by one team in the SRL is 54. I could be wrong on that. In fact, I'll quickly check. I'll go get our statistician to check the stats on that one, what the most points in the game is by a team. But Manly could certainly beat it at this rate.
60's definitely on the cards. And with Mark Lee off, Rashford's taken over the kicking duties.
As Rashford is going to kick back off now as we quickly have a look. Yeah, most points in the game is 54 by the New Zealand Warriors, all the way back in Season 2. They can definitely get the 54, Manly, and they can get even further than that if they wanted to. It's just, yeah. Manly, they need to find, Newcastle, they want to just stop this from being a bloodbath from now, I think. As Goodwin will push forward there. And they're going to give away a penalty, and Sadler's off in the bin.
Sadler would have come back on for Mark Lee at lock. So this is a really big out for Newcastle. They've just lost a third of their middle.
They've also just lost the player, so they're now 13 on 12. This is not good. As they're going to throw a forward pass. They're going to let a little somebody go their way, Manly. Newcastle, I should say. So we'll get that go their way. Probably the first thing really all David's gone their way despite that. Let's see if they can use their luck there. Maybe make this scoreline look a little bit friendlier. So go outside inside. They throw an intercept. No, they don't throw an intercept. My apologies. There was pre-anticipating the intercept there. As Rashford plays it there. goes off Mofflingowie. Short ball there to Vaughan. Good tackle there. And now that they're just down by, what is it, 30? They look a lot tighter, but they're going to spread it over here. Rashford it is. Rashford gets around one. He's looking for a try to score. Newcastle scored despite being down a player. And he deserves that one, Rashford. He's been very good today, and he found some space and a score for the Newcastle Knights.
Well, that was a completely inexplicable error from Jimmy Ralph earlier, throwing the forward pass off the tap, and it's Rashford taking over the goal kicking duties as well. That's very interesting.
Yeah, I've got to say.
I thought it might have been Vaughan.
I've got to say, Rashford, you know, despite everything, I want to give raps to Rashford. I think he's actually been really strong today at fullback. He's definitely shown that he is an option in the future with him missing that conversion, but he's definitely shown he's an option in the future if Tom Ponkston does go down or whatever they want to try. And he shows right there his skill. He just ran hard, found some space, and by that moment, Dingle was too far infield and he just beat him to the try line.
Absolutely, though perhaps he shouldn't be granted a kicking license.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point to make. To make Blair as they're going to kick back off now down to Crutcher. Send it over there to Dockledge to take a hit up. They'll play it there. 11 minutes to go. The Knights will be down and by whatever. But we have 12 players on the field up until the final 4 minutes. So they can hold on to the ball maybe a little bit. Maybe they can, make it not look as bad as they're just trying to at this moment. Just trying to make it not a flogging pretty much.
Well,
not letting Gary plays it there. What were you going to say, Blair?
To be fair, I do at least now think 60's off the cards. So I don't think we're going to see any records fall today, although I do still think that 54 is a possibility, particularly with only 12 on the field for Newcastle.
Yeah, we'll have to see as Vaughan punts it down to the backfield, down to Ben O'Donnell, who has been dangerous on the kick returns. In fact, he might be going. Dockledge ankle tap, and eventually Rashford gets back there. Could have been dangerous there. Great stuff there from Newcastle to defend it, but that kick and chase was still pretty poor. They're going to go now. Lee Simon it is. Or Lee Simon, I should say.
I think that was the first time that we've actually seen Rashford caught out of position on a kick return. So great work from Dockledge there to get across and get the ankle tap, which gave Rashford the time to wrap up Ben O'Donnell.
They'll play it there now. Lee Simon. Ralph. They're going to give it their short ball there to punch. Takes it there. Bit better defense considering when they started the set. Manly as they go down there to KCK. We're going to punt it over. A bit out of position it seems, but he eventually gets over there, Hone King. And he's taken down there in a good tackle by O'Shea Ole.
I give some raps to Hone King here because he has had an absolute brilliant game as Rashford makes another break too. He has been kicked to again and again and again, and he has done his job brilliantly of working it out of the Knights' end.
You'd have to agree. Gonna go, oh, Crutcher. Goodwin meets him in a good tackle there. That's the fourth tackle. They're still looking to find just a little bit of something there. Newcastle, maybe they can score another one, make it 42-22. Just, there are some positives to take away from the Knights this game. I think they've definitely shown they can attack pretty well in line. I just think their discipline is the real talking point of this game. Their discipline absolutely killed any chance of winning this one. As Goodwin, that's a better kick chase there, and even Goodwin.
Absolutely. I think we've seen the Knights give up 5 penalties this game. We've seen a number of intercepts thrown, and we've seen a couple of silly errors as well. So, yeah, Newcastle just really needs to clean up the game in order to become competitive, particularly against top sides like the Manly Sea Eagles.
As they go inside there to Chaz Dingo. Dingo's looking for some space. It's eventually going to be taken down now. That's the fourth tackle. They score here, maybe 50 still in the cards. Newcastle, they don't want that though. They're going to go there. Short ball there to Carl Lewis, who charged into, I think, when usually Dingle would be on that play, but he can't find anything. They go back there. It's now going to be KCK, who dummies and runs again. Dockledge is there to stop him, and he'll take the tackle just past the 10-metre line there.
It feels like Manly's clocked off a bit, particularly at the ends of the last couple sets as Quentin Cotter makes a bit of a break here. We've really seen some soft fifth tackle options, particularly from KCK.
You have to agree. I think overall, Manly, usually when you see domination like this, you think a team's just been absolutely dominant in every area, but I think it's just been Newcastle. This has been so bad. It's like just made this. It's made Manly look better than what they have been today. At least that's how I see the game. With Rashford now pushing up the middle. Maybe Newcastle can get one more try. He'd be impressive to score 2 tries while being down a player. They go short side here. Short ball there to Sabbath to Uwa. It's a good line ran, but Matt Harris was there to make the tackle. Play it there as Bo Sutherland's going to come back on the field with 3 minutes to go. It's going to be a high kick there. No one really wants a bar of it, but Dingo's there to take the ball.
Clearly error there from Newcastle. Kick just came through a bit too deep, and now they're going to have to defend a 7 tackle set. I can't wait to see whatever Pete Ferretto's tackle count is at the end of this game.
Oh, he's been absolutely incredible. I feel like records may fall in that category. He may have broken the record, although I feel like if you ask Peter Ravrioff, just won the game. But it's going to be Dingo to play it there on the 40. Goes KCK. Dummies and runs himself. Dockledge takes him down. That's a good run there. Play it there, 3rd tackle. Matty Harris gives it short there. To Goodwin, straight up the middle. Maybe this will be it. Goodwin, he's going to get taken out. Finds the offload to Matty Harris. That's a brilliant flick pass there from Goodwin, although Harris didn't quite have the speed. Goes over to Dingo. Maybe looking for a hat-trick here. He's going to be pulled down there. 5th tackle now. We'll go back to KCK. He puts it high. Not the greatest kick, I have to say. Taken well there, but they'll get a repeat set. Just because why not?
Manly are a really good kick-chasing side. While Honor King has generally done brilliantly under Manly's kicking pressure, he hasn't really been able to make any huge kick returns, and that kick chase has been the reason why. It took what was really quite an average kick and made it a brilliant one.
Yeah, I feel like they've had quite a... I could be wrong here, but I feel like they've had quite a few line dropouts today. As they go inside there to Matty Harris. There's 15 seconds left. Maybe they'll get one last try to seal it here. Play the ball.
I want to say it's...
And that's going to end the game. Newcastle Knights lose at home, 42-16. It could have been a lot worse. But the Newcastle Knights, they end up just getting by. But a few massive talking points out of this game.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. The Knights... discipline has really been what let them down, as we see 4-0 on the penalty count and a sim bin from the Knights. They just never allowed themselves to be in the game, and Manly they were given a gold-plated invitation, and a team like this just knows how to take it.
I don't mean to cut, but 100 more tackles the Knights have to make. That is... I don't know if I've seen a more, bigger tackle difference in the SRL ever. Manly 127, Newcastle 227. Moreno,
yeah, absolutely.
give us the 40s, 39 is tied the record for the most tackles in a game.
And had he taken the 2 tackles he missed, he would have that record.
Yeah, and I still think Mark Lee's from that one season is slightly more impressive, because I think he went 39-0. But, it's just... Yeah, he barely ran the ball today. Let's look at this. We'll look at some running stats here. Mika Rashford, I thought he played pretty well, all things considered. Mark Lee, I also think, played really well. But other than that, Pete Ferretto also played really well in his defense, but,
I think Honor King did his job well. 3 line breaks, which is a little bit more than I thought. But, those 8 runs and 97 metres were out of his own end. They were a lot of really hard work. I think he did a great job. Johnny Dockledge did a decent job early, but then I feel he went a little bit quiet.
Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think Johnny Dockledge just had a little bit of quiet, end to the game. And, after his first really good 10-minute start, we sort of thought, Newcastle thought the first try, we were sort of thinking, here we go. Newcastle might actually be on here for an upset. And then... their discipline just was absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, they started the game so well, 6-0 after 10 odd minutes. And then Manly scored their 2nd try. And that's when the floodgates started to open.
As we look at some meters here, Milo Carrigan, 264 run meters with 3 line breaks and a try. Chaz Diggle also Had his hand over everything. 10 line breaks, 16 tackles done, missed, 250 run winners, 2 tries, and a double with his try assist to go with it. I mean, Ben O'Donnell, also 5 line breaks.
168 metres off just 7 runs. And let's look at the top tacklers for Manly. It's Jimmy Ralph with only 20.
Yeah, you know, not like to see. There's only, 5 plays above 10?
Yeah.
And 6 places a halfback. Like, he should have been, like, and he missed 4 tackles, to be fair, but it's just, I don't really have many words for what really happened to Newcastle today with their discipline. You know, you make your own luck in rugby league, and that's sort of what happened. Newcastle, they got unlucky in a few claws, I'll give them that, but Manly just made it work, and Newcastle just weren't able to bounce back from it.
Agreed. And, I mean, Manly only had to make about 10 kicks, and that's just so few. They were able to get to the end of their sets and score so often.
And look at this, Matthew Vaughan these two had, 11 combined. Matthew Vaughan had 7 by himself. He just had to do so much kicking while, he really didn't have to do much work, man. Most of the work was given to him, to be honest. And I want to say about, 4 of these 10 kicks were grubber kicks, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And, Kyle Lewis and KCK... it was Jordan Williams who had the try assist off grubber kicks. Both of the Chaz Dingo tries.
And I think in the end, it's just... it was so disappointing. Mike Carrigan, 264 run meters. I want to say that's the most I've seen I can remember from forward. I'm sure someone will fact check that and go find someone that has more, but that's the most I can personally remember from forward. 264 was an amazing game from Miley Carrigan. Probably his career best game I've seen from him. Chaz Dingo, he's been very good this year, but probably his best performance I can remember for one of his best performances ever. He was really good in attack. Other than that, though, considering how much we won by, Ben O'Donnell was really good, but there weren't too many other, absolutely dominant players, despite how well Manly played, I think, at least.
And Manly do that very well. They work as a unit extremely well. They get up for each other really well, and they've just put the knights to the sword here.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for, Manly, the Newcastle Knights. They came into this game, I think, in the top 4, but...
Pound 5.
I think we'll be surprised that they're still anywhere near the top 4 after this performance.
Couldn't agree with you more.
As that will just about do us here today.
Pound 5.
Thank you, Blair, once again for joining me. I've been your host, SRL Commissioner Lachlan Martin, and we'll see you guys next time.
Pound 5. Pound 5.